Hi, I'm Angie Corley, and this is Dinner DeeAs. Now, today's show is a little different. We've got ideas not just for dinner, but also breakfast and lunch too, as we give you our guide to what to buy and cook when a storm is on its way. Living in Florida, we all know the Atlantic hurricane season rolls around every year. And while in 2025, none of the hurricanes hit land in the U.S., but it was still the most Category 5 storms in 2 decades. Now, while 2026 is predicted to be at or below average, that could still mean a dozen named storms and a half a dozen hurricanes. So we want to help you prepare, or at least prepare the pantry so you're ready when severe weather strikes. Most of what we'll cover are the basics that we all should know, but don't always do. Here to help us get not just ready, but Red Cross ready is Ela Landegger. Now, she's one of the thousands of volunteers who serve families throughout the area as part of the American Red Cross of North and Central Florida. It is a joy to have you back on the show. How are you?
Good, thank you, Angie. Nice to be here.
Yes,
thank you.
This is so important and so vital. When I think about 2024, lots of folks were caught off guard by Hurricane Helene and Milton. 2025, everyone was ready, but we got to breathe a little sigh of relief, if you will. Now, is there danger that we get our guard down? Well, when it comes to hurricane preparedness, what you need to do before anything else is a plan, right?
Always.
All right.
Always need to have a plan.
Well, I love that you're going to walk us through that, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Happy to do that.
Good.
Yeah. Most people know this, but we, as you said, don't always think it through.
Right.
So you need to have a kit. So the first thing I would do is have a bag, because this can be your go bag.
Yes.
So if you have to evacuate, or it could be the one that you're staying at home with, but you need to have basic. I always have a printed list. I also put it in my suitcase that if I have to evacuate, I have a whole list of what I need to take with me.
That's smart.
We have a series of things on the redcross.org spot.
Okay.
But in particular, for our storms, flashlights.
Yes.
More flashlights.
Yes.
This one is particularly neat because this one plugs into the wall, and then it works as a flashlight, also works as a night light.
Oh, that's
so
great.
So that's a really neat one because this goes on when the power goes off.
Perfect.
Also fabulous, radio cranked. With the solar power.
That's like Back to the Future.
It is.
I love this.
This is a really neat one because it gives you an AM radio, which if you are out of power, what are you going to do?
Yes.
Your kids can also stay really busy while cranking.
That's right. And
anything that keeps them occupied, right?
Yes, that's right. That's true.
So that's a good one. Also,
love that.
Extra solar panels and battery chargers, because more often than not, our phones die.
The phone, exactly. Yeah. These are lifelines. People want to know, how are you? Where are you? How do I reach you?
This is on the back of my phone as a reminder to remind everyone, take your important documents, photograph them, throw them up in the cloud. Because if you're evacuated, you're not allowed back into your area unless you have ID that proves you belong there. So that's my reminder to tell everyone, make sure you photograph your important pieces of documentation. Medications for yourself, your children, your eyeglasses, copies of your prescriptions. Very, very important. Also, sunscreen, bug spray.
I never thought about copies of prescriptions. Genius. Thank you.
Yeah, again,
Thank you, Ela.
and photograph those things.
Yes, love that.
Let's see, tools that you will need afterwards, tape, screwdrivers, working gloves,
yes,
really useful to have.
I mean, sometimes you just don't think about all these things, unfortunately, until you need them. But that's a really great one. I think about that.
So that's more to do with the wiring and all of that.
Okay.
If you are leaving home, you're going to want to brush your teeth.
Oh, yes.
Soap, towel, take this with you.
Yes.
Because you don't know what will be at the other end. Because if every hotel is booked, you might end up being in your car or someplace else. So take a towel with you. Spare clothes.
Yes.
Rain gear. I've got boots on to remind me. It's usually wet.
That's true. That's
and
true. Rubber boots.
The ground becomes very dangerous.
Yes.
If you're going to an evacuation shelter, take a blanket. Take all these things with you. Snacks, plenty of samples, water. We'll talk more about that. The emergency things. And let's not forget, we all learned this during COVID. Who doesn't need to have toilet paper? Works for so many things.
That's so true.
So needed. So those are the things.
The basics. Pack these, have them ready. I love you have them individually compartmentalized.
I have the different topics, so I know which one we've got to have.
Yes.
And this is your basic list.
Would you put all these items in a bag? This is your bag.
I brought them all in here.
Wow.
Except for the blanket. Everything else was in this bag when I walked in.
That's it. Let's get ready so you don't have to stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Get a kit.
I love that. Great. Okay. Now, what food to stock up on, and if possible, don't leave it until the last minute. I know we want to do that, or assume that last year's rations that we stocked up on are still good this year. When you start looking at those expiration dates, as I do regularly, I'm like, oh, trash that. So you've got some suggestions. There's a top of the list, even before you cook the food, right? It's water. And I don't mean just one bottle. There are many bottles. What is the recommendation for us?
Thank you for asking.
Yes.
1 gallon of water per person per day. Now,
1 gallon per person per day. 1 gallon of water per person per day. That's a lot of water.
So if you have 2 weeks worth, we're talking 14 gallons of water just for you.
Wow.
Now, what if I have a dog?
Wow.
And I have a husband?
Yes. That's multiply that.
Multiply that
right.
out and out and out. And
wow.
that's cases and cases, but trying to be environmental.
Please.
I mean, really always recommend the big bottles.
Yes, that makes sense.
It does make sense, because this is also how you're going to brush your teeth.
Brush your teeth, wash your face. If you can, prepare or mix
anything
some food
else,
or
and
something.
to mix it in. Gallon a day.
These are always the first things to go, so stock up on
and
the water.
And just keep using it in your home.
Yes.
Start from the bottom, sort of keep cycling it upwards so that you're always with the fresh.
I love that.
And you can also do all of these supplies, same thing in your cabinets. Just keep using from the front and storing in the back.
I love that.
So here, you've got fabulous things here.
Let's get to the food. One of my favorite things.
Me
I know
too.
I have a few things that I kind of sprinkled in. I'd love to share my tips, but I want to hear from you, the expert volunteer. So Ella, lay it on us. The good food that we see, what do we have here, and why do you suggest these foods for our emergency kit?
One of the main things is high protein.
High protein.
Beans, tuna. Now you can get canned corn. Canned corn is not high protein. Sorry. Tuna is high protein.
Right.
Chicken is high protein, and beans are high protein. So all of these canned things are really good, as well as they add some color and variety. Because I don't know about you, but do you really want to be eating baked beans 6 days in a row?
No.
Because you don't have something else? Change it up. Add some color.
Right. So I see some.
Rainbow.
I grew up on some SpaghettiOs. We could do canned fruit, some canned corn. Always a favorite. This is one of my. I know you'll get to preparing the food, but this is one of those things I discovered later as a resident of Florida now. I'm like, oh, you need to have a way to open if it's not manual. So this is one of my items for my pantry. It's the corn, or something with a pull tab.
With the pull tabs. Very smart. Cereal is always really good too.
Grew up on that too. That's good. Dry with water
and it's a good filler too at all times.
Yes, and this is smart. I didn't think about this.
Shelf-stable milk.
That's
absolutely
great.
Invaluable. And it's always good. And you can keep replacing them. And then, of course, we got chips and nuts, and again, the high protein.
These are my fave.
I love olives.
Listen, I keep these in the car. I keep them in my desk, and I definitely keep them in that preparedness kit for everyone. Little meat snacks. These last for a long time. Raisins.
Car stable.
Yes.
They don't melt.
Yes.
They give you a pop of energy. Peanuts, always good.
Oh, look at this. We've got chips, craisins. Oh, I love craisins. I love raisins. All of these dried nuts and fruits are yummy, yummy, yummy. I love these little pouches of the lentils, again, for protein.
Fabulous.
It's already prepared. I can warm it in the microwave if there's one, heat it up outside, or just eat it right out of the package. So I love these. Coffee. This is something great. You can make ahead or do some instant coffee.
You can.
I don't know if I could live without it. I need that.
That is really good.
And then let's get over here, some other goodies. Our furry family members. Ella, we
did mention it over there, but this is super important too. You need to have pet food. And by the way, shelters now, most of them will also take animals. Not every shelter does, but many of them do. So you've got to bring food for your pets.
Yes, that's so true. And then, of course, the babies, my little babies. Yes, got to have some good snacks for them. Yeah. This is just genius.
And then for the practical is you're not going to be washing that many dishes if you have no running water.
Very true.
As we've learned, when the systems are down and all of a sudden the county can't process water,
right.
You need to have paper plates.
Yes.
Which, unfortunately, that's a reality.
I didn't
the
think
can
about
opener.
That. This is one thing, it's like, wow, guess what? You need this.
Yeah.
Don't forget this. The can opener, the utensils, even the trash bags.
Yeah.
Just great items.
And then again, we'll just mention,
first aid
kit, because people get cut and stupid things happen.
This is for me when I'm having that hot moment, that personal summer, cool me down, or if there's no AC. This is definitely one of my best friends. And this is actually from my home. This is what we
wonderful.
use. This fan, it's a rechargeable fan.
Awesome.
Which is great.
Oh, that feels so good.
Okay, do you feel that? I'm like Beyonce, honey, blow. This is a lifesaver when it's hot and sticky, and you can also charge your devices in the back. This is a
That
power
is-
charger
Ooh,
and a fan.
I
This
need
is
one of
like
those.
this is a joy right here.
Yeah.
And you just control it and turn it off, and it's rechargeable. So
Well, you know what else is good is because inevitably when we have hurricanes, we're having rain.
yes.
We also get a lot of tornadoes that are on the edge of the storms too,
Yes.
which is also a frightening thing. You can turn on a fan to keep blowing the air through the house so the
Yes.
mold and the mildew don't take hold.
That's
this is
This
really
is my
valuable.
This is my fave. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. If living without power, if you're thinking of like investing in a generator, there are some important guidelines which might seem obvious, Ella, but listen, thousands of people every single year are poisoned by, and dozens are killed by carbon monoxide poisoning using generators indoors. And I'm going to tell you, I actually bought a generator and said, oh, look at the rules. Back it goes. After waiting in line, thinking I needed it, I'm like, I'll go to someone's house that has the proper space or knows how to operate it. It's not for me, not for beginners. Tell us about this generator.
So any generator should never be in your home.
Yes.
And this and all your propane items also should be away from the home, at least 20 feet away, because it is way too easy to get poisoned by the carbon monoxide that gets emitted from that.
I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
And this needs to be how many feet from the home? At least 20 feet?
20 feet away.
20
which is pretty
feet
far.
away from the windows and doors and the vents and everything. That's far.
That is far.
That's-
And in the same way, even if you've got your barbecue grill, you don't want that next to your house either, because you might be using your barbecue to cook. You don't want it right up against the house where, again, you've got your fumes and your potential for fire. Fires happen constantly after storms, so I'm very much on that topic as well, because that's a large source of problems.
Yeah, I tell you, please do not forget all this information. Let's take a quick break. And when we come back, our severe weather food prep planning is ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Maybe we'll open those Rice Krispie treats.
Definitely.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. Listen, we are here today with not an idea for dinner, but our ideas for food prep when you are preparing for a storm. Joining me to share her expertise today is Ela Landegger, and she's with the American Red Cross of North and Central Florida. And before the break, she gave us the basics on what to do as we are getting everything on hand that we need in our emergency kit. And chances are, if a storm's approaching, you'll have more than your kind of shelf-stable supplies. That's hard to say fast 3 times, but there's more that you can do than just eating what spoils fast. We have 5 food prep tips, and we're going to run through them. Let's start here on the end, Miss Ella.
Pre-cook things such
Genius.
as pasta, even oatmeal.
Yes.
All these kind of things, or some cookies or cake. You can do this ahead of time. Any meats that you have that are going to go bad if your freezer dies, cook them.
And then enjoy them.
But you can
Makes
cook
sense.
them ahead of time. So
That makes
please,
sense.
let's not waste our freezer
That's
loads.
true. Sometimes we do have those make-ahead times. And of course,
Things
bacon
that are
goes
now
with
in your
everything.
refrigerator. Bacon, always a great add-on. And
Yes,
you can
and it
cook that
doesn't
ahead
spoil
of time.
right after you cook it.
Once you have it cooked, it's pretty stable,
Wow.
as are eggs. Hard boil your eggs ahead of time. Make a breakfast casserole. You can bake those things ahead of time.
Yes.
Cook up some garlic, adding it to that, and a whole lot of other spices and herbs that will go bad. Cook them up, put them into things so that you can eat it over the few days that we might not have power.
That's right. And here's an essential coffee and tea.
Coffee and tea.
Make it ahead, make some iced tea, have that iced coffee. It's ready to go, put in a little thermos maybe, and you're good to go.
Not only that, but you can also do it where you make it double strength.
Oh, and then just add water.
And then just add a bit more water. Back to those, you need a gallon of water per person per day. That's
Love that.
one way to use it.
We've got some great jars. What do you suggest?
Pickling foods. This is really a fun one. My family comes from Poland. Everything can be pickled, whether it's cucumbers, but also eggs, tomatoes,
Yes.
beets,
Yeah, you're using those veggies.
mushrooms. So you take those things that were in your refrigerator and you pickle them.
There you go.
And they can be sitting there and doing a great job.
And then, of course, the ice. The ice. Freeze them. Keep them in the freezer.
Yes,
right? So they're ready when
exactly.
you need them.
And not only that, but if we go back to the fact that you've pre-cooked your meats, you're now refreezing them, and those can also be like ice blocks. And as things thaw, you just start pulling out of your ice box.
I love that.
Your cooler.
Your
I should
cooler.
say.
And I love
Your
to
cooler.
put extra ice in the cooler, too. These
Always
are great
lots of
tips,
things.
these 5 food prep tips. Love that. And don't forget, while it is best to prepare well in advance of bad weather, it's never too late to start. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, some simple readiness recipes that you can make ahead, even if the power goes out. This is going to be good. It's ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Back to Dinner DeeAs. So today we're sharing some tips on how to meal plan for severe weather. Joining me to guide us through it all is Miss Ela Landegger, and she is one of the thousands of volunteers who make up the American Red Cross of North and Central Florida. And if you want to get creative with the canned food while you still don't have power, we have 5 no-cook ideas to kind of keep your diet interesting. Keep it interesting enough to keep that hunger at bay. Nothing wrong with that, right?
Exactly. So I brought along one of my favorite recipes.
Okay.
It's really complicated.
Okay.
Can of tuna, can of corn. You get one, I'll get the other. Now the advantage is this is pre-openable because it's got the handles, and this one's got oil in it. So we dump the corn in.
And we want the oil in here, right?
We want the oil. And you dump in the corn. And the tuna. This is really complicated. I'm just opening this because I have a feeling this was brand new.
You know what's great? For those who don't know, Ela was also a trained chef.
I was.
As well as a caterer.
I was.
The things you find out. So these are going to be really tasty.
All right. So here, normally what I put in is cayenne pepper, but I personally love sriracha sauce or any hot sauce.
Yes.
Or if you prefer something more mild, you could just do oregano.
Okay.
But basically, that is all you do with this. I'm not sure if one of these is open.
Do you want to put a little something in here too?
We want to do a little bit of a something.
Let's do.
There. Don't do too much. But
okay. Just give it a little special
flavor. To taste. Depends on how you like it.
That's right.
But you just stir this up. And because of the high protein power of the tuna, you end up having this really great looking, colorful salad.
Yes.
And then, you know, just because it looks nicer, you can add a little bit of this, just to add more color to it.
Absolutely. Some nice herbs, season it up.
Does that smell great now?
That does. I can get some chips or just use a little spoon. She's feeding me. Oh, that's nice.
Unexpected.
That's perfect. Yeah.
And then when you get bored, you change out the corn and go with one of the beans or one of the other things we're going to be doing.
That's quite lovely. I love that. Refreshing.
Keeps me going all day long.
Here's some other great ideas. So, of course, tortilla chips. Who wouldn't love this? A little taco night, right? I love this. Some beans. We've got some tortillas, little cilantro, also wonderful avocado. I could eat that plain and be good to go all day. What do we have here? Some salted
bean salad. Your most classic American food, your bean salad.
Yeah.
And because both oil and vinegar are shelf stable, so you're not worrying about mayonnaise. This can be sitting out for a little bit.
Oh, that's
And you're mixing up your beans.
And you just pop them off or have that can opener ready, pop them, pour them, some nuts, slice up some celery. You can even use the celery to kind of eat and enjoy, put some fresh little brightness with that lemon.
And the saltines, you're not using up as many paper plates or dishes that you don't want to have to be washing. This one bowl, and everyone can be dipping. And high protein.
Breakfast, powering us up.
Totally. Yes. Always. Oats, such a useful thing. Together with nuts, bananas, peanut butter.
Oh, that's great.
We still had those cereals that we talked about earlier, but you've got the shelf-stable milk. So mixing all of these together in different combinations. These are in your pantry probably.
Right. Yeah, I love that.
And if you don't have fresh bananas, you might have banana chips.
That's right.
You can use that too.
Smart. Love that. And then a little fun little rice pasta dish here. Some cold-soaked peanut noodles.
Yum.
This chef's coming out. Little rice vermicelli. I grew up on little rice or pastaroni. Love that. Some rice wine vinegar, and I see some peanuts. We could do this. Some oranges, peanut butter, and some water chestnuts. You can be creative. I love that. This is just smart way to use up your pantry and eat differently.
And we'd also mentioned earlier that you pre-cook pasta. That's the perfect application. So you've already got the pasta cooked.
Yes.
Now you add the flavoring and change it out. You can do all these things, varieties.
That's so great.
Just to keep it up and interesting.
She's so good. Let's take one little quick last break. When we come back, some final important reminders. So don't go anywhere. Dinner DeeAs continues ahead. Welcome back, everyone, to Dinner DeeAs. Now, we've been getting ready, not for dinner, but for severe weather. Ela Landegger has been getting us Red Cross ready. She volunteers with the American Red Cross of North and Central Florida and has been sharing her tips on what to stock up with. This is so great. Now, listen, we have just scratched the surface on what all of us need to do ahead of a tropical storm or a hurricane. But Ela, there are 3 more things. You've got the top 3 things everyone should remember. Give me number 1.
Get a kit. like we had the backpack. It could be a pillowcase, and write down on it all things. Here, I drew a picture of my family. So get a pillowcase. It's really simple, but have this in the closet under the bed, and each kid should have their own.
And they can pack it up.
They can pack it up themselves.
With their favorites.
Give them the control.
Yes, I love that.
Which is nice. So getting a kit.
Okay, number 2.
Make a plan. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? How you get in touch with your other family members?
Yes, that plan.
We've had a lot of tornadoes lately.
Yes.
How would you know where everyone is in your family? Make a plan today. We've already had them.
Yes, that's true. All right, number 3.
Be informed. Pay attention.
Yes.
Please, don't ignore it. Don't go under, the wall. When they say
pull the covers
evacuate,
over your head.
evacuate. Get out and stay out. This is really important.
Yes.
So many tragedies happened, Helene, Milton, from people staying in their homes and ignoring the public.
My girl, Ella.
I brought you a gift.
What?
Wait. Okay, so here's sort of your starter kit.
Okay, thank you.
And a first aid kit to put in it.
Oh,
so
that's
a little
sweet.
gift from us.
Thank you. I appreciate
Thank you.
that. My kit is getting prepared.
There we
I love
go.
that. I appreciate you so much, and thank you. Don't forget everything you need to know to be ready for whatever storms in the Atlantic hurricane season come our way. Fox13news.com is where you need to go. And of course, Ella, thank you so much, my sweetheart.
My pleasure. Thank
you,
you,
all
Angie.
the volunteers who give their time to keep the American Red Cross running, thank you. All right, if you need more advice, we've got you ready for preparedness, the Red Cross app. I'm Angie Corley. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon with more Dinner DeeAs. So sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love that.
You're very welcome.